Okay, it's been actually a little bit more than 10 minutes. I got pulled away, but here, let's say it's 10 minutes. I'm gonna open this up. You can see that the cloud is no longer there so much. I want to be very, very careful as I pull this out, okay? You can see I caught a little bit on the plexiglass piece. And that's kind of what you want. You see the plate just has this perfect dusting and it kind of lightens the color of everything. Now I need to get the copper plate onto that steel rack where I'm going to use that heat gun to fuse the rosin to the copper. I'm moving very slowly and carefully. I've placed that there. I'm going to get a second person to hold the phone for me while you watch me transfer that to the steel shelf with spatulas. Blake, could you do me a favor?
Yes.
Could you hold this phone while I'm video recording? You can just kind of train it on me. I'm going to be right there.
Okay.
I am grabbing, hold it up, grabbing these. Now watch, keep it trained on my hands. So any sneeze or quick air movement or anything is going to totally ruin that Aquatint. So the trick is to move carefully and slowly without any sudden lurches. And when I set it down, I also have to have no sudden lurches. I need to set it down very gently. If I let it slam even a tiny bit, even like an inch off from that steel, when it hits the shelf, it'll displace the rosin and it won't be an even distribution. At this point, I want to take this plexiglass plate and kind of carefully go back and tap all that excess back into the box and close that door. I will sweep. I've already swept once, but I will sweep again when that's done. Now I'm going to move the polishing tray out of the way. I'm going to take the heat gun. I'm going to plug it in right here. There is two settings there, and there is temperature and blowing here. So I probably want it on setting 1, which is going to blow the least. I want the fan pretty low, not too high, because I don't want to accidentally blow the rosin. But I want the temperature not crazy high, so this is raise the temperature there. This is lower the temperature there. It doesn't seem to be registering. 120 degrees will work. I'm not sure why. Oh, I see. So I'd have to be on setting 2. So I just put it on setting 2. And right now, see, it's shooting up to 700. So I could reduce that down. Oh, that's higher, I see. Left is higher, right is lower. So I'll bring that down, you know, I don't know, we'll do 600. I've got 3 bars on the fan, we'll try that. Now you're gonna wanna train the camera to the top. You wanna look at the rosin from an acute angle. So bring it down like that. If you look at the rosin from an acute angle, so not straight down at the plate, but really from the side, you'll see the light value, light color of the rosin better. And you can see I am moving the heat gun around. I'm not just hitting one spot. I'm not too close to the copper. Instead, I'm moving it around because I don't want to get one part of the plate super hot and then move on. I want to bring an entire area of the plate up to temperature and then slowly move on. There's two dangers in baking the rosin onto the plate. One is that you fail to use enough heat to fuse the rosin. I'm going to turn up the fan. I'm also going to turn up the temperature to 700. So I've now got 4 bars on the fan. And it can feel like it's taking a long time right at the beginning, but once it starts, it'll really go fast. And once it starts, well, the second danger, by the way, is over baking it. So if I use too much heat, or if I'm cooking it for too long, even at the right heat, each little particle is going to spread. And each particle is going to spread enough that all the particles merge and it becomes a solid varnish coating across the whole copper plate. As I reach temperature, you will see all of the rosin turn transparent. So it turns from a whitish, dusty to almost completely invisible substance on the copper. So it returns to looking more like a clean copper plate. So I'm still kind of circling and going back and forth across one side to bring that to temperature. And it's probably going to be pretty quick here that it'll start to turn. And you'll see there, I think it's starting to go. The rosin is starting to turn kind of transparent. Come over here, Blake, a little bit and look at it from this angle. See it right there? See the way it's turning transparent? So I want to make sure, like once it turns transparent, I do not want to heat that spot more. All I need is for the rosin to turn transparent. I want it to melt onto the plate and no more. Any additional cooking past that point does risk that the particle spreads like too much butter in your chocolate chip cookies and the cookies run together, right? So I've got 2 real clear transparent spots there and it's starting to migrate. And you can see why I keep the heat gun moving. I don't just sit on one spot, because I want to be bringing a whole area up to temperature so that I don't overbake any one part. Do you think you can see in the video, Blake, where the rosin particles are still opaque and where it's transparent?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, you can see half the plate is
yes.
Transparent.
Yeah, so I'm about half done now. Goya used to do this with a candle. He would use wire to hold on to 2 corners of the plate to suspend it in the air above the candle. And he would just have the candle flame burning on the underside of the plate. So if you get one spot that's really, really turning transparent, be wary of getting that spot really way too high. Too hot, rather. Okay, I'm now going back to the unfinished portion. It's easy to get a little impatient. Better to go a little slow and to keep the heat gun moving around the plate. Copper conducts temperature very well, so that helps us keep the heat distributing as we're moving around. Okay, I think that's gonna be done now. Turn it off, unplug it. The gun can stay. Well, it's not gonna do like that. The gun can stay like that. When the plate is gonna be hot right now, so I don't wanna touch it when it's hot. As soon as the plate is cooled and it is at room temperature, it's ready. So at that point, I could put that plate in the acid and etch all of it, and I'd have a tone etched across the entire surface. Or I can first stop out certain areas. I can use the nail polish to stop out. I'm gonna be using a China marker or a litho crayon to stop out, and I'll be demoing that in class as well. Cut video.